Welcome to episode 80 of ZK Live. Tonight we have Gustavo Camelinga from Mcdermaid Painting. They're in the Bay Area of California. Gus runs one heck of a painting company. They do unbelievable work. They have an amazing reputation in that area, which allows them to charge really good money to do the work. He's going to talk to us a little bit about his numbers and how things work, but definitely a way above average painting company. And I think when we talk to him, you're going to understand why. He's a very smart guy. And I'm going to bring him on as soon as I see him join in. I was rushing to get here, so we didn't get to do a practice run. I apologize. But there's always that scale or quality. There we go. Gus is here, and we're going to bring him right on. There he is.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing excellent. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Where are you?
I'm on the hot chair. I'm in my office. This is my studio. This is where we bring clients to showcase some of the European plasters that we use. So just a quick little tour. So we got some Venetians. We have a lot of products from a company called Riverdale. They're full spectrum kind of stuff.
So you do a fair amount of faux?
We don't do faux. Faux is, the word means fake. So we do the real deal, right? We do the Venetian plasters, marmolinos, just Italian plasters and paints, full spectrum, organic for the most part, So things that people wants to see a different aspect of paint at times. And a lot of my clients, they're used to traveling. So they see something beautiful overseas, and it's one of those things like, I have to get into that one day, So this is the day. I got myself a team of Italian applicators, and they run that division, which is awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to get back to that, actually. But before we get into all that, just so people have an understanding of who we're talking to and why, can you just give me an overview of what the company looks like today?
Absolutely. My company has 38 members, and we do, we like to say high-end residential. We're based in the Silicon Valley, in the San Francisco Bay Area. So it's the market that we tend to. They're the CEOs and the CFOs, people who want really high-quality product. So that's the market we tend to. We have a full spray room, dry room. It's like a clean room. We work with cabinet shops. They drop off cabinets, pick them up. We have our own delivery trucks to deliver and pick up stuff as well if needed. We have about 7 teams at any given day up on the field. We're not a huge organization, but we're very dynamic, and we do a good amount of quality, productive, work. We came to that point, we're looking for people who wants to fit with the mindset of the company and train them up and make painters out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 38 painters in the field. What's the office look like?
The office, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in the office, and we have 2 field managers out in the field just managing quality control. And then we have 1 person who does all the purchasing only. So the guys, the foremen never go to the paint store themselves. We have many different types of platforms where they request product the day before a certain time. So the next day, the foreman shows up to the shop to pick up the company truck, and all their product is waiting for them. And everybody else goes to the field directly, because otherwise you have to pay miles and all that stuff, right? So, but yeah, that's basically what it is. about including myself, 7 people manage in management, and the rest is up on the field doing work.
Who does the estimating?
I do a big amount of it. Um, it's not really hard because we're not really looking to do volume work, and they don't have a big monster to feed. Um, Most of our work is T&M. I would say 70% of my work is time and material. So it's very little estimating to do. Um, a lot of our clients, they just want to get the work done, and that's how we handle it.
All right, we're gonna have to come back to that too.
Yep.
Um, so one guy's job is just to buy things.
Exactly. And that's one's guy job, and he's got his hands full, man. I'm telling you. That's what he does. He's a purchase manager. That's all he does. Just purchasing materials. You got to understand, we don't just do painting. We have a small division of drywall, a small division of carpentry, another small division of stucco repairs. So we do everything in house. Early on, we're talking about volume, how do we do it, and what we do. Um, we do it all in house. The problem was having, just this. It's I was hiring subs to do that kind of work, but it was many things that I wasn't motivated to continue on that path anymore. Mainly the quality of the work, it wasn't to standards, so we had to get him back, and they were like, "That's good enough." Well, that's not good enough for me and for my clients, so we got to fix that. Uh, and then getting him there to show up, sometimes you expecting that part of the job to be done, so that you can do your work, so they hold you back, and on and on and on. So I said, it's got to be a better way, So I did my homework and started interviewing people who had experience in the field, and brought them on board and polished them up. I wanted to have full control of their quality and their schedule for the most part.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's huge. So what do you think the most important, what are the few things that were the main drivers to your success to get you here?
I think it's not one single thing, it's many. Um, I would like to say having integrity is the most important thing for me. When things go bad, you have to own it, and just make the best of a bad situation. You can turn it into a positive situation, and that kind of carries you on, living a good feel with the client behind it. And that just kind of like having a good approach to everything, it's just being positive about life and about things. Even sometimes you don't want to, right? You just left this one project where something went out and you got to turn the page and meet the new client, and it's a brand new day, right? So having the ability to turn it on and off with not just your clients, but your employees as well. I think that's really important. And I think one of the most important, if I have to say to anyone who's starting a painting, be patient. Patience is everything, because if you don't have patience, nothing works. Mistakes will happen. How you approach them, how you take care of them, it's what's important. Surround yourself with good people, good employees. Treat them well, paying them as much as you can, give them as many benefits as you can. Just a long-term person, right? And when we hire somebody, we make a letter offer to hire that person. We think of their family, their background. So we don't just hire someone temporary. We look for a long-term person. So that's important. That we got to make sure that we have a long-term job for this one person, and then we're committed to that person, just like they're going to be committed to us. We're not a non-union shop, but we offer all the benefits of the union, and probably a little bit more. We're very friendly with families. Guys take a lot of time off, and that's okay. Take time off, go with your family, enjoy life too. It's too short. They all get full benefits: healthcare, vision, dental, 401k, paid holidays, sick leaves, PTO. So they have that sense of security, right? And we pay them top dollar. So we don't only retain our existing team, we attract really good talent that wants to join the team. So we have that capability of choose and pick when we need to expand a little bit more. We have good options out there that want to be on the team.
What does an average painter make?
An average painter, we start our guys here at $25 an hour. That's where we start. Someone who knows nothing, the right guy who want to train, we think we have potential, you know. And then from then it goes up to 50 plus an hour, you know. Most guys, as they burn the 35, $40 an hour rate. Keeping in mind all the benefits, you know, and that inflates the rate, you know, of what we can charge to our client as well. But an average painter is $35, give or take, you know. The foreman makes up to 50 plus. A beginner starts $25. In 3 months, they get
plus benefits.
Oh yeah, plus benefits. This is just take home.
Dude.
This is Silicon Valley. You guys have to understand one thing. Things are insane here. A little shack, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house here in the Palo Alto area, you can't buy it for less than $5 million. It's a fixer-upper. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's insane here. It's like nowhere else. So cost of living is crazy. So we have to pay them, you know, so they can, and that's not even enough. You know, I feel like everyone should learn that $50 an hour minimum,
yeah,
in order to make a living here.
Does that mean you have to commute fairly? Do they have to live outside of Palo Alto? I'm assuming.
You know, a lot of them live here because they've been here for a long time. Some own homes here, but we do have a team that comes from about 2-hour drive for the last 15 years. And that's by choice. You know, they like the outdoors and they don't like the city. But now more and more the guys who are joining the team, it's hard for them to afford a home here, so they're moving out about an hour and a half away from here. You know, which is, I would do it if I was on this shoes as well. You know, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to afford a home here in the Bay Area. It's a tough one.
Yeah. So when you find, like, what does the hiring process look like? How do you find new employees? And then from the time they apply, what does that look like?
Okay. So a new employee for us, first of all, we like to talk to our guys. Hey, you know, we're going to be hiring, and they know the process. You know that for the most part, if we hire someone new, it's going to be just to relieve a person who's ready to advance, you know, to the next level already on the team. So we like to promote from within the team. So that's usually how it starts. So regardless if it comes through one of my employees, existing members, or if it's someone who just know that we're hiring, we'll interview that person first, have them fill up an application, get a size for what kind of human being this person is, you know, it's a good fit for the team and what his values are and whatnot. And if we like what we see, we'll bring him in for a second interview, more of a serious one. And then we make him an offer, you know, and then we'll put him on a 30-day trial, you know, to see if it's, in 30 days we will know. I mean, sometimes you know in the first day, right? But in 30 days you will know, you know, if that person has the capability to learn and retain information, what kind of personality this person has, you know, and all the little factors that come into play to know if you're going to have a long-term person to work with for the team or not. Yeah.
That's all right. So you're beyond impressive. I want to be like you one day. There's no the goal is to have a company like Mcdermaid Painting.
Well, thanks for the compliment.
Can we go all the way back to the beginning? When did
Sure.
you first painting?
Wow, you're gonna take me that way back, huh? So, you know, before I started to be fully into painting, I was working with a friend of mine doing side work, right? That's how we started. I was doing side work with them, and I like it. You know, I really did. I liked the transformation aspect that paint has into a home, and see that, you know, people's faces when they see their home just from being a home that was neglected to being transformed in such a quick period of time, right? And I personally liked it. You know, this is fun. It was my calling. So this one friend went to work for a commercial painting company, a big company with 140 employees, all 100% commercial. It was volume. We did a lot of work for big, you know, the school districts, Lockheed, NASA, and on and on and on, just huge projects. So my heart wasn't into because it was like blow and go quicker, you know what I mean? They were getting, the estimators were getting projects where whoever bids it the lowest gets it type of deal. And I just couldn't do some of the things. And I didn't because I had to meet the schedules, right, and the budget. But when we're doing the site work directly with the clients, that was the more challenge that we were able to find. You know, for the commercial part, it was just paint, primers, spray, your back roll. If you're lucky, just get it done. You know, nobody's gonna say anything. There's no love in this thing. Just make it look presentable. And when we're doing the residential aspect, it was more detail, more challenging. You know, you're dealing with not just the product, you're dealing with the homeowners and all these things. So that's why I gravitated towards the residential aspect of it. Uh, the company that was working commercial, it was closing doors, so I had the opportunity to go back to another big company and be. When I worked for this commercial company, in 6 months they made me field superintendent. I did not want to be a field superintendent, but the owner saw something on me and they say, I want you to help me run my biz, you know. And after it closed down, I was debating to continue on that field or to moving into residential. I run into a guy who had a small team of 4 employees, residential, and he told me, I'm going to be retired in 5 years. Come work for me, and you can have the company. And that sounded like a pretty good deal. So I said, why not? So we gave it a try, and sure enough, you know, we started with 4 employees, and for the most part, we got rid of the employees they had. I brought my own team because they weren't listening to the direction that I want to take the company to. So we started fresh again, and the guy retired, took over the company. It's been a slow growth ever since. I took over the company in 2001, so I've been doing it as an owner for 20 years. I started painting on 87, so it's crazy. I mean, I can't believe I'm talking 20 years back. But yeah, I mean, it just happened, you know, and I don't see it like it's been 20 years. It seems like it's been 5 years or something like that. I'm like the oldest guy on the team on the area now. Everybody know that you've been around forever. Like, yeah, I guess so. You know, it's a lot of new faces out there as business owners, and if I can encourage them or advise them, I'm happy to do that for them. You know, I want the industry to get better. I think lack of understanding from the new people who are coming into the field, it's critical and unluckily people competes on pricing out there versus quality, you know, and then we don't play that game anymore. So we just say, what, you know, so we don't go there. So if more professionals um, are starting to do the right thing, which is get a license, get workers' comp, get liability. In California, it's really tough. I don't think many other painters on the states that I know, they don't need to have a license. In California, you have to go to college. It's like you have to have a business law. You got 3 different tests: the trade, the business. There's another one: trade, business, trade, business. There's another one. I forgot it right now. But there's 3 of them. You have to pass them all through, and you have more than one employee. You got to have workers' compensation. You got to have liability insurance, and that's just the beginning. Every county has its own set of regulations. You know, like we recycle everything. Not even water goes to the pipe. We recycle everything. We have a truck from the state that comes down and picks up all the drums with the dirty rags, dirty paint thinner when we use, and everything goes to the state. I pay for it, and I get a bill at the end of the year for generating waste. Like I'm doing the right thing. Why am I being, you know, twice? But that's the right thing to do, you know. So we don't cut any corners on work or how to handle the business because until it happens, which it happens to all of us, right? Somebody's gonna get hurt on the job. If you don't have workers' comp, the OSHA's on you right away. OSHA is our workers branch that it's protects the worker, which is great. So
Over it. You met a guy.
I met a guy.
Hey, you seem like a nice guy. I have a painting company. Come work for me, and I'll give you the company in 5 years.
That's it.
May I have more information about this interaction?
Yeah. So the guy was from England. His name is Steve Mcdermaid. So he moved like 3 hours away from here. His heart wasn't to the vineyard. He was very established a vineyard, so his plan was to move regardless. So that kind of worked to me because he already had a foot on the vineyard side. So yeah, I mean, basically it came down to they had like 3 spray rigs, one beat up Astro van, one beat up S10 Chevy truck. We did a quick inventory. I think it was like $5,000. Cut him a check. off you go. I took over some of the accounts that needed to be finished, some touch-up work, and it was like 15, 20,000 bucks total that it came out to be on those days. And
How'd you? Yeah.
how did I meet him? He had an ad on Kelly Moore. He said looking for a field manager. That's when I saw that, like, I'm a field manager. I can do this, or I can go work this other 300 employee company. So I had a choice to make in those days. I went and interviewed for the big company, and the owner was extremely nice. They had two very grumpy field supervisors. So they wanted to add a third one, which was me. And I just didn't like the chemistry. I said, I don't like these guys. They're going to make my life hell. They didn't make me feel welcome at all. So that's how I went with kind of solidify, this is not for you anymore. You got to go here. And I love it. I love meeting the client. I love the challenges, the everyday, comes your way. Yeah, there you go. I mean, that happened.
So you start with 4 guys. You have to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
I did that within the first year. Yeah. I mean, the fact that in those days, weed wasn't legal. It was breakfast, had a joint in the parking lot. It's just the presentation, I wasn't there. And I tried to work with them. And it was a wall every time I tried to talk to them and say, no, that's not going to work. So you can't. You could take a horse to the water, can make him drink, right? So I say, okay, if this is not for you, then cut your last check. There you go. Yeah, for me, image is really important, extremely important. It's a full circle, not just the final product, how the job gets done. Starting with myself, using Buddhist, being respectful with the client, their family. We train everybody how to behave around clients, not just throw them in there, right? And there's a ton of things they need to learn. We teach them. When we start a new team member, we pair that team member with another experienced team member. So you're gonna shadow this one guy. So he's your disciple, your Jedi disciple. Teach him. You tell me when he's ready, and off you go. That's just how it works. It's the good old buddy system. It still works.
So you got rid of your guys, and then it was you, and you started hiring a couple people.
I did. Yeah, I brought some guys from my past employer, which they closed the company. So I picked about, I don't know, 6 or 7 guys that I thought they had, good potential, and I brought them on board. And up to this day, there's 3 of the original guys still with me. Yeah, it's amazing.
And so how were you getting work in those days?
It's all been really a word of mouth up to today. I don't advertise. I don't want to. I don't need to. I refuse to advertise. Let my old clients be my billboards. You do a good job, and that you don't just gain a client for life, because painting is like maintenance. A home is gonna have to be painted every 10 years, give or take, and you have to maintain that home before that line gets there again. One thing we do with our clients, we do the best job possible. We use the best materials possible, the best techniques. But I will educate our client. We tell them, look, have me back here in 2 years. I want to wash this house. I want to do touch-up work. And once they see the transformation in 2 years, homes get dirty, right? You get the pollen and the mold growing, this and that. And, we'll go back and clean them all up, very gentle, and do some touch-up work. It's like brand new again. So they love that. And people like their homes looking good around here. So we have a big maintenance division that works that way.
What percentage of interior versus exterior would you say you do?
I would say depends on the time of the year, but it's more like 65 interior, 45 exterior.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing. So right off the rip, you hired guys, and did that mean you got out of the field right away?
Not right away. It was hard. That was the hardest thing for me to do, to get out of the field. Yeah. It was really hard. Even up to this day, I see my guys painting, I remember that, and honestly, about 3 weeks ago, I went to a project. I was having a stressful day. I turned on my phone and I just got a setup. I took myself, one of my guys, and I started just cutting away for like 3 hours. It was beautiful. It was awesome. But it was hard to just walk away from the field. and you have to walk away from the field. You have to delegate. I got me a business coach, and then just all these things that came into play was like, I got to take this to the next level. I need to schedule things and make time for everything. You know, everything has to be scheduled now. That's how you be productive.
Um, business coach.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Through a well, you know, so I have a CPA. You know, every painter should have a CPA. Everyone should have a CPA. People are like, I don't want to spend that much money. You spend way too much money, more if you don't have one.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because the deductions, you're missing up on deductions. You're gonna screw up all the stuff. They pay for themselves. So CPA is a must. A bookkeeper, really important. Reconcile all your books, presenting, especially a bookkeeper who has a good relationship with your CPA. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You know, they handle all of that. Um, so how did we get to the CPA question? Sorry.
Where'd the coach come from? Where'd
The
the idea
coach,
come from?
the business coach. You know, I don't care how smart you are in life. I'll just, sometimes you need that extra brain to tell you, like, why can I, because you try every avenue and say, I just, it goes back to square one, back to square one. So I belong to different organizations. One of them is BNI. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah.
Uh, and also NARI. And so you hear other people talk. And then, you know, then just hit one time, you know. I mean, how can I, why is it that I'm not being more successful? Why is it that I'm stressful all the time? Why is it that I can't relax? So can I take time off, you know? So just hearing people speak, and then I heard a business coach speak one time, like, let me give this guy a try, you know? And sure enough, paid off really nicely. Helped you get organized, you know? And so having a business coach is awesome. Bookkeeper, CPA, a good attorney as well. You know, you got to have a good attorney, good labor attorney, so you don't just go out there dictating what you think is best for you and your company. There are laws. You got to follow some laws. So it's important that you bounce things off with all the professionals that you surround yourself with. But I have some really good group of role model people in my life, you know, in different industries. And so, and I surround myself with positive, like-minded people that can help me succeed, you know? And I look at them as friends, and it's a mutual relationship.
That's awesome. So how exactly did you get out of the field?
Little by little. And so we just have to trust you guys, you know? You just have to trust them that mistakes will be made, and, you know, try to minimize them, and just having faith in you guys, and then just having patience. You know, it didn't happen overnight. You know, it was less and less and less and less involvement in the field, until you start seeing you start developing a trust with your coworkers, and and then you just find yourself not having enough time to paint anymore. You know, just I mean, right now we have a bunch of people that don't paint for me. You know, they just manage the teams. You know, I mean, all my managers, they don't pick up a brush. They don't. Simple as that. You know, it's just managing. You know, but it's you have to do it. You have to delegate. You can't do it all yourself. Find the right person. Surround yourself with the right people, and you got to compensate them. You know, don't be a greedy bastard. You have to do it. Yeah.
So you start off this, you take on this company. Was McDermaid Painting, when you took it over, already working for the ultra high end clients?
No, it was more for the so-called medium class, which is still pretty wealthy here. So little by little, I started positioning myself in the company to work for the higher end people, and that was been my long-term goal to work with the higher clientele, because that's the most challenging. They challenge you the most in every aspect, right? So perfection it has to be perfect. There's no good enough, doesn't exist, you know. Especially, yeah. So that it just a build up to where we are now. So I see myself as a farmer, no, as a hunter. I don't know if you mean what by that.
Yes.
Have you heard that expression?
Oh yeah,
Oh
totally.
yeah,
I play all day long. That's all I ever do.
we're farmers, man. You got to plant your seeds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Educate Educate everybody around you on what you do. Educate your employees, educate your client. I'm not a salesman. I'm an educator. When I
Yes.
go to people's house, I'm educating them. I'm not here to sell you anything. You call me
Me.
for this, but I got to tell you, like if you go to the dentist and then you call him for a toothache, the dentist is going to see all these things. My job is to educate you. This is what else you need to take care of. Otherwise, there are some consequences. And, walk away. But yeah, it's just
So
farming.
can you walk me through like that, like how you like got level to level to level? Because that's been my path recent in the last few years.
Yeah.
That just like jumping steps to get to that where we're at the ultra high end working for similar clients.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Honestly, start taking steps in faith. Don't compete with others on price. Stick to your quality. Charge what you need to charge. That's when you go to the business class here to get your license. If someone asks you how do you break down your price? What kind of the project? What part of the project you want me to cut loose? Because I'm not just gonna give you anything. But anyway, so I never look at other painters as a competition at all. I don't care what they're doing, to be honest with you, because I know what's out there. I always look up. How can I get my business better on a day-to-day? How did I get better at what I do? And I don't care about who's following me or who's not following me. I'm just focused on what I need to do, and I have my goals. One by one by one, from getting the building with the spray room and the clean rooms and everything else, from getting all my guys with clean, beautiful uniforms. Like I told my guys, pretend you work in a restaurant and you're the waiter. So you got to look really presentable every time. From having beautiful, well-stocked inventory on every company event that we have. Uh, on and on and on. It's just I challenge myself and I take steps in faith, and I'm not afraid to do it. I'm just do it. I just do it, man. I don't look back. Yeah, some of the things I done didn't pay off. So be it. I mean, nobody made it to the top by being afraid. So you got to take a calculated risk. Educate yourself, position yourself, train yourself, learn. And like the vision that we have with Venetian Plasters. There's no one here in the area that can bring the volume and the quality. We already have the team behind it. All we have to do is introduce a new division, introduce it to the clients, to my architects, my designers. They're my biggest salespeople, So because they know the brand that comes with it, not just the product. Peace of mind, quality, professionals, good service, and on and on and on. So takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, but don't give up, and just keep working, work hard. I always look up. How can you improve my company? How can you make yourself better on a daily basis? And you will fall on your face. We all know that. Get up, shake it up, keep going.
So would you say that can you think of like a turning point or some like big break you got that where you were like, oh man, I got this job and that led to so many other of the type that I wanted?
A turning point. I think if I had to think of something that I wish I would have done sooner, when it comes down to that, it will be to dump most of my general contractors. I dumped most of them. I just kept the good ones. The ones that don't care about your brand, your work. They don't care if you make money or not, if you pay your bills or not. Shake those suckers loose quickly, because they don't care. They're gonna take you to bankrupt. So I work less and less and less and less with general contractors, and more for the homeowner directly. So cut the middleman and work directly with the client. That's probably a big turning point. And it didn't happen overnight either. It was like a 5-year transition where I started to say, okay, I'm dumping this contractor, I'm dumping that contractor, just because you do your job cost analysis on every project, right? And see what went wrong, who made you money, who didn't make you money, what team is producing, what team is not producing, right? And then put them together. Why is it that this one general contractor wouldn't make money with him? Well, look at the way he runs his business. Look at the way he schedules his staff and that kind of stuff. So doing job cost analysis is really, really important. And don't wait for the end of the year to do that either. You know, do as fast as you can, as fast
Yeah.
as you can. Quarterly basis, what I suggest to do. That way you have a really live finger on the pulse of your business and see what works and what doesn't, and you got to take action. But I think working directly with the client and directly with the designers, it's one of the biggest things that I did. It is like a big ocean liner that took me a while to redirect it to where it is now. We're just, you know, because I have a very diverse basket now instead of having just the general contracting, because that sucker dies because the economy hits and the remodel stops right away, and the home maintenance, that doesn't stop, that keeps going, you
Yeah.
know. So that's one of the biggest things that if I consider something, I think that's probably what did it for me. One of many, right?
But the contractors are easy to get, right?
Oh yeah.
That that's the problem. You don't make any money because they're always looking for some new guy to
Oh
take.
yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and we interview our clients. We don't. I don't just go on a wild goose chase with a new someone that I don't know. If I see, because when somebody calls the office, we have a page of questions that we ask. How did you hear from us? You know, how long did you paint your house? Are you planning to sell your house? Are you planning? Did you just buy your house? So all those things pre-qualify them, see if they're gonna be a good fit for us. Because otherwise, I be looking at jobs 24/7 and get zero. You know, so
that's awesome. I do the same thing.
cool.
Um, so like designers, tell me how you started to work with designers and how you developed the designer relationships.
Designers relationships, that also was very organic effect. um you know, through different events. Nari is one of them. You know, you get like the organizations that I belong to, they have designers, and I mean, I've done this for 20 years, so I met a few here and there. Not all of them, you know, are a good fit for your business. So kind of with those out, you don't need a lot of them. You know, if you have a handful of them, good ones, that was going to keep you busy. I mean, for the amount of people that we have, I can always expand on that field, and I think I'm going to do that now. The COVID's on the wraps a little bit more. We're gonna have live events here that we're gonna invite local design firms and bring them here and do some catering and have a little music, a little vino, and show them around. You know, and that's just what it is. You
Yeah.
know, so yeah, we like to show our brand, show people what you can do. And for what we do is very optical, you know. Pictures and videos don't do justice. You have to feel it, see it live. You know, it's a whole different environment. So one of the things we want to do is, it's not that we need more, we just want to educate people. You know, the local art festivals, you know, that's where we put a little booth, you know, and put some of the products that we do, and just talk to people, you know. And most people knows us because we're in the neighborhood, and they just want to stop and have a glass of wine, you know. So just brand yourself, brand it good, you know. One of the things we do that works for us is, and on the job sites that we select, we'll put a company sign, a really nice company sign with some flyers there. And now you can do a QR code, you know, and people can just read on it, and off you go. But there's a lot of old timers which still don't have that technology mindset. So you may want to have a couple flyers there, or even a sign. They can take a picture of it, you know. So that would get a few projects through company signs, having them on the right area that you want to brand yourself.
How about contractors? How did you get in with the good ones? Because the good contractors are the ones that are hard to get in with.
Yeah, you know, I think just developing a relationship with them, you know, size them out, you know, either treating you as equal, either introduce you as my painter. That's probably not a good one, you know. If introduce you like, hey, this is Zach from CK Painting. Cool, you know, and stuff like that. Make sure they understand that you're also a business owner, you know. Get to that level, you know, and also I don't give no 30-day net pay, none of that stuff, you know. I want my money quick. I'm not here to finance you, you know. So we on our contract is 5 days after you get my bill, come up with a check. You know, that's another thing. You know, cash flow is really fast here. No, nobody owes me more than 2 weeks out there. It just very quickly. I don't. I've said that from the get go. We don't do the net 30, net 45. I mean, you're exposing yourself for a big liability.
Yeah.
But
Do
contractors, You know, I'm sorry.
Charge a fee after 5 days?
I don't get to 5 days because I don't pick someone. Not really. No,
Yeah.
I just get my money and have a talk. And if they're having a hard time, and then we're just probably not gonna work next time. You know.
Yeah.
No, you know, I mean, not gonna wood. I've never been in a courtroom. I never had a dispute. I'm pretty good at managing people, and I want to keep it that way. You know, I don't let things go too far. We do progress payments on a weekly basis. We don't wait for 30 days to invoice nothing. So we keep a pretty tight grip. That's where the team here in the office comes handy. You know, my foreman's turning a daily report of what's done every day. So they picked it up on a Monday meeting. By the end of that week, a bill goes out for the previous week. You know, so it's pretty tight, very, very tidy, all we do. So it's, yeah, we don't like to let people lose too long. It just becomes a liability, you know, issue.
You're not, how does your payment schedule work? So we generally take a 50% deposit. On larger jobs, we'll take another draw at some point and then the final payment. But you're not allowed to take more than a 10% deposit in California, right?
Yep, 10% or $1,000, whichever is less.
Oh my gosh.
And that's good. I mean, you know, that way you don't, the client is protected that way.
But also now you're not like, so what, you know.
But this is, no, we're talking about, that's when you sign the contract, you know. You can sign a contract here, and then I'll talk to you schedule later. Just give me what, no. That's because a lot of scammers, people were like, oh yeah, sign the contract, give me 50% down, and you never find that person again. So now the law is to protect the homeowner, which is, I agree 100% with that, you know. So you get your deposit just to kind of secure the people to be like, oh, never mind, I changed my mind, you know. So that's, if you change your mind, then you change, you know, that money's going to change hands as well, because you're not getting it back. I give money back to my clients. I never kept a check, a deposit check, but it basically helps that, so they don't change their mind too often, right? And then we do progress payments, you know. On the first week, if the job is whatever amount of money, whatever we think we have invested on that first week, we'll build that out the first week. If we started on a Friday, we'll probably invoice the following week for that week, you know, and all the materials that we buy, and so on and so on. And we expect payment. Let's say we invoice on a Monday or Tuesday. By the end of the week, we expect payment for that previous week. And it's all in the contract. We had a 15-page contract, you know, for everything we do. It's all there. And a lot of it's mandated by law. We have to give people, educate them on how the contractor business works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, that I don't like that.
I know.
Especially to hold their spot.
Yeah.
Right. It's just fascinating to me because we don't have to do that, and we take these large deposits, and for me, I love it because it just shows me like this is a client who knows and trusts, and we're not gonna have any issues.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I see it in both ways. I see it your way, and I mean, most people we have the same. My existing clients, I'm sure that would be the case. There's no problem collecting payment, and they, you know, and they even offer. I say, no, there's really no need for that. I mean, because our cash flow is really good. You know, we don't need to have that. You know, so we trust each other. We're good. You know, and I see it more because California has all these waves of construction going crazy, and then it stops and whatnot. So you get contractors from out of the area, even from California. They come in here, and that's why this thing started. You know, they start getting large deposits, and they never show up to do any work.
Yeah.
So that's why this law got made. Yeah.
Interesting, though.
I know. We're special, man. I'm telling you. I see all the stuff you guys use on Instagram, and like, why can't I use that? You know?
I just see it. I feel like it would be hard for smaller guys.
To do what?
To like
the payment part?
If a small guy with 3 painters
thinks
he has a $60,000 job coming up, and the client decides at the last minute to change their mind, that's a serious issue.
Yep. California, you have one part of your contract is you have to give them a 3-day right to cancel too. You know, like if you've got a contract deposit and everything else, you got to give them 3 days. You have to sign them out. You have 3 days to call it quits as well, right? So anything decent, you know, when we went through this BOC compliance, you know, which most paints have to be under interior paint, under 50 grams per liter for BOCs. And now it's zero BOCs. Most of them are zero BOCs all around. So it's crazy here. I mean, we got used to it. You know, it's like white noise now. We hear all this. You know, it's crazy. Now we're in a drought. So okay, so I'm a lead certified painter. I don't know if you know what that means.
Yeah.
You heard from me? Okay. So that means for people who doesn't know this, you have to certify yourself and your employees. At the company, one person has to be certified only, but I decided to certify everybody. That way I don't have to explain all my employees why. You know, everybody's certified. I don't have to go to the job and lock that job every day to make sure it's safe, yada, yada, yada. So a lead certified, it's you got to make sure that you protect your employees, protect your environment, make sure you don't pollute the house or the landscape with lead-based paint, which it was, you know, back in the 50s. But I believe from 1978, 79 and down, you have to assume there's lead in the paint. So you have to protect the brains out of everything and everybody, right? So it's crazy. And I don't know if you guys deal with that and then on the national level, but here in California, it's crazy that way. What irritates me the most is like you can't even use a washer, like a power washer, to wash a house because you're gonna disturb the lead and you're gonna go on the ground. Yada yada. How the hell are you gonna wash a house? You know, paint a house if you can't wash it. You gotta treat the mold and everything else before you paint a house. And that's what's irritating the most to me. But nobody really enforce it, so we're still washing homes. You know,
Yep.
just we'll have to do it. I'm
We
not gonna
use
get it. Yeah, everybody watch at home. If you don't watch at home and you're painting a home with dust and mold, I mean, you don't know what you're doing, in my opinion.
and it's rained on that house.
Yeah, what does the rain do? That's what I told the instructor. What happens when the rain hits the house? Oh, that's a natural event, so that doesn't really apply. Like you're full of it, you know, it's just
It's nuts.
insane. Right now, we're in a big drought here in California, so they're gonna prohibit us to wash at home. So one of the things, again, this is where you have to get creative with your business. One of the things I'm doing, I'm investing on a trailer that has 600 gallons and a pump, and I'm going to the water company and getting recycled water, so I can use that. And I got to paint that sucker purple because that's the color of the recycled water. You know what I'm saying? In a way, it's a PR for me, right? So, and it's free water. I paid $6,000, $7,000 for the trailer, put it in the back of a pickup, have that crew just wash homes all day, free. You know, it's just you have to get creative. You
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, California, man, that's something else. All right. Talk to me about T&M because that is a very touchy and difficult subject for anyone in
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
in painting and contracting. How does a TMM project look for you? Are you giving not to exceed numbers? Are you giving rough
No.
budget numbers? Are you
Yeah.
talking, you know, how does that look?
It looks good, and you have to have a really good finger on the pulse of the job, right? So, an example, they went today with the homeowner, went to their home in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and they left one of the few contractors that I work with, and we have a great relationship, good communication. So I gave a number not to exceed to paint a home. No, I'm sorry, not to exceed, a ballpark number to paint this house. And I mean, but then I have to be honest. I know my team, right? And I know how long it's going to take me to get a house painted. So, you know, I'll do all my breakdowns. This many days for prep work, this many days for ceilings, this many days for trims, this many days for doors. Put it all together, add 20% to make sure you cover. This is your T&M, give or take. You know, I never put not to exceed ever. That's a mistake, ever. You know, you might try to inform them as the job goes along and tell them, hey, we're going to make our numbers or not. And why not? You know, don't wait to the end. Say, guess what? We're out of time and we still have 30% left of work to do. You know, so education is important. You know, be as honest as you can with the client at the beginning and why you're doing T&M. You know, a lot of times it works for some people, it doesn't work for others. But I think education is what's the most important thing. And the T&M, I usually do when there's a contractor involved because you're not in charge of your schedule, right? They're the ones who tell you, oh, do this, do that, this and that. You know, so they tell you from the beginning, oh, we're going to give you the entire house. And then as the date approaches, guess what? We'll only have the second floor for you, and we went to here, but you give me the entire house. No, we got to get it going. All right, then you get there to the second floor, and then you find out you have a plumber and an electrician competing with you in the same room. So I can't make money that way. TNM. That's the only way I approach it. There's not even a question or an argument. And I give a good budget. That's if everything goes well. If the schedule changes or things change, this contract's pretty much, it's done. We have to start fresh again. So that's one TNM option. The other one is when we do historical restoration. For you guys, you have homes from the 1700s. Here, if you touch a house from the turn of the century, that's something different, right? 1900s or late 1800s, it's a blessing to do a home like that. So we do a lot of those too. We do 2 or 3 a year. And so those, you don't know what you're going to deal with, You pretty much have to do a full strip. You got to find, replace a lot of the wood in most cases, So there's really, it's a tough one to estimate. And I done really good. I mean, I get a ton of experience on estimating this project. But it's important that you know how to estimate these projects, It's really important. And then again, communicate with your client as time goes by. And the client is seeing the work being done, and then just keep feeding them the facts as they occur, and you should be fine.
So are you giving a weekly report then?
Yeah. All my projects get a weekly invoice and a weekly report. Yeah. And if the client is not around, we take a ton of pictures, videos, and feed them to them and have them document everything, everything. Even if it's a text or an email, you get a yes or not or whatever. That way there's no misunderstandings. Phone calls are not my friends because people have short memory.
Yeah.
We always, everything we do, we create samples. We learn how to read people. Right now we have a client here in Atherton. The designer's in New York. So we're sending all the wood samples, paper samples, all the way to New York to get signed, come back here. So cover yourself all the time. Never take an email as an approval, right? So if we say, hey, use Benji more or 5 pence a Europe, that. Nah, you sample that sucker up, sign it, That way it cover all your angles. But yeah, TNM it's the way to go. I encourage anyone who can swing a TNM that know what your hourly rate is. I mean, I wonder, it took me a long time to know what my hourly rate should be. A lot of guys out there still don't know. They're still guessing. Today I'm going to be 35. Tomorrow I'm going to be 30. Tomorrow I'm going to be 45. Know what makes your business operate and stick to your guns. Don't lower your rates.
What is your hourly charge rate on a TNM?
Depends on what we do. We have a carpentry rate, drywall rate, a special finishes rate, and exterior painting rate, right? Interior painting rate. Because it depends on what kind of team I need to put together. That has a number attached to it. Yeah.
Interior and exterior painting. What are those numbers?
My lowest number is $85 an hour, and my highest number is $145.
What's the 85?
85 is an exterior painting. Yeah, that's $85 an hour. That's just being as transparent as I can be with all of you guys, But know that we got to pay a shitload of money for all those rates, My rent here is like $6 square foot, right? So keep that in mind, And then all the insurances that we got to pay, the health insurance, workers' compensation is $160,000 a year, right? So all these things.
Workman's comp, do you know?
I'm sorry.
What's your rate on workman's comp?
So we pay about $160 a year. I think it's like 0.87. My modification rate. We pay 87 cents on the dollar. That's what we do. Does that make sense?
So 13%.
No. So see, this is one of the things where I don't do that anymore. So you put it. I wish I had my office manager to answer that, but I know we pay about 160, 170 a year on workers' comp, and we have a really good clean record. The only major accident we had is one of my original employees. I was monkeying around and he fell off from a balcony about 14 feet, landed on concrete. shatter his kneecap, and it's just a mess. You know, I got a phone call, and all the branches of the department were there. You know, sheriff, firemen, PDs, yada yada yada. So the guy was out for 2 years, and on disability. So like his back is like brand new again, you know. But this is one of the things we took care of him. He's an amazing employee. So liability only pays you. I'm sorry, disability will pay an employee about 60%, give or take. We decided to make up the rest so he can get a full check and pay for all his benefits, like work, health insurance and yada yada for his family, because most of them have family benefits. And so it worked out good. You know, it's he takes care of the company, we'll take care of him, and that's just a two-way street, man. You know, and most people will be like, get rid of that guy. No, why? He's awesome. You know, we're family at the end of the day, right? We spend more time with each other than with our own families at home. So that's the environment that you want to create, right? And it's I don't know. I want to sleep good at night, man. I really do. You know.
That's where you can grow.
Yeah.
And not have to worry, because there's no weak link.
None.
All right. So T&M, how did you start T&M? Because T&M is if I don't have a contractor. I don't know that I have a contractor that I could go to
With T&M?
and say, I want to paint this interior T&M.
Yeah. Well, what have you done for your company to set you apart? I mean, what chips do you have to bargain?
Now, I can win projects for a lot of money. Whether or not I could go to that same client, I'm going to ask some of my clients.
Okay.
I could never I don't think I could do it at a 70% of my work type of thing. Yeah. Now, I will say maybe in 20 years, in 10 years.
How long have you been in business? Let me return the tables on you.
I've been in business I've been painting for myself, which is what I called it for the first 7. You know, I could maybe do something here. Mm-hmm. And in the market that we're in, mostly now in Boston, we've been there for maybe a year, 2 years max. So we're new. We're the new guys in town.
You accomplished a lot. I've seen a lot of noise coming from your way. So like, right on, guys. You know, keep it coming.
We're moving fast, but I'm amazed. So I can do T&M with repeat clients way easier. We just finished up a big one.
Right.
Guys are on one right now. With repeat clients, I could easily do T&M, no problem. They know what they're getting. They know this is the safest, fairest way.
Yeah.
If I'm going to a GC, though, you'd have to have a relationship with that GC, I would imagine, right?
No, yes and no. The easiest thing is, yes, you know, you have a GC and that GC is smart enough to educate their client that T&M is the way to go, because potentially they're going to pay more. T&M means time and material. I think somebody here is asking.
Time and material.
The time and material. If you don't know many of the elements, I mean, we are all on business to be in business. We're not here to give free nothing. You know, we got to pay employees, overhead, yada, yada, yada. So you got to confidence. You got to be confident. You know, obviously, we are to the point where we're turning away people for the year. For this year, we're done. We're not taking new clients. We're just catering to their existing clients. Just because I don't want to grow. I don't want to add another 15, 20 guys and add 15, 20 headaches. I just been that route before. I don't want to do that, you know. So for the T&M side, I know this is a subject that is incomprehensible for a lot of people. For us, it's how good of a businessman are you? How good of a salesman are you? You have to educate your client why T&M is a good option for you, more than for me. You know what I'm saying? I told my clients, every job that I estimate, it's according to the number of hours that it's going to take us to do your project. Because I pay my guys by the hour, my insurance is by the hour, and my hourly rate's what makes my business run. You know, so I don't know if I don't offer T&M to everybody. I offer it to the right person, to the person that I think it's a good benefit, for a mutual benefit. Um, so what I told him, this job is going to take 100 hours per se. I don't want to I don't want to throw another 25% just to CYA, right? Cover your butt. So I don't want to do that to you. So I would like to offer you that option. I would just, this is what it makes my business run. And this is what I'm estimating the amount of hours going to take. If I had to give you an estimate, a firm estimate, I'm going to have to go 25% on top of that to cover any unknowns. I don't think I need to do that with you. If you want, I can do that, and
I
that's
love it. So you would essentially say, here's my T&M price.
yeah.
25% on top of that would be my hard number price.
Exactly. Yeah. And then
But
let
fight me. Your hard number would be more expensive than your T&M number.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For sure. Yeah. So Tom, you can choose, if you want that. I just would like to make it fair. Sometimes it's like I don't need to do, we're here to make money, yes, but it's a marathon, it's not a race, right? So we gotta make sure that we leave a good happy client behind that knows they got good value with what we've done for them. So that's how I approach my T&Ms. Some projects are just T&M, bottom line. I don't even want to touch them.
Okay, so say you tell the client I could do the job for 75,000 T&M. That's what my rough budget is.
Yeah.
$100,000 hard number.
Yep.
The T&M project comes in at 109,000.
Yep.
But they don't have a problem because you've managed every week.
Exactly. Yeah. And a weekly basis. It's a well-educated client that's seeing what's happening here, and so we don't provide a copy all the receipts. We do it up in request. If you want to see, how much you pay for, because another thing we do is, and all our materials. Let's say we'll get the paint store, the hardware store, yada yada yada. We add 20%, 25% to the cost of everything that we have for that one project, and it's on the contract. Everybody does in California. Everybody does that. Why? Because our insurances, like my liability insurance, when you renew it every year, for those who have liability insurance, you should know this, right? That's how much you think you're gonna make a year, So they charging you based on your income, So that's just one of them, and it covers other things.
That's brilliant. We've never marked up. I've never
Mark
marked
them up.
Sure.
I mean, you guys, I will get discounts from the paint store, and I told my client, you won't see more than what you like if you will go get it yourself, because I'm getting a 15-20% off from the paint stores. Let's say one example. So it's basically you're paying what if you get it yourself, and I'm picking it up. I'm just making sure there's no errors. I'm making sure it's the right product, yada yada. So just mark it up. I mean, we're a business at the end of the day.
I like you. I've done a fair number of T&M, and I've never actually given them receipts to people.
Yeah.
You probably don't have to do that very much, right?
If I have probably a handful of clients that want to see receipts, and I'll be happy to provide until I'm coming to the office, so we can sit them down and there.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I have often thought that is the best way to go. T&M is the fair client and for us, and but I think that it requires a lot of trust, and it requires you to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I think it also fits our world of high-end custom residential.
Right, exactly. And there's what we do is specific to this one specific line, like the fine paints of Europe products. Those are tough. I mean, I don't care how good you are. You're always gonna have a challenge with those suckers. When you think you figure it out, think again, right? Because many elements can contribute to. So a lot of those projects is definitely a T&M. We got a project local right down the street from. And most of my work for people that know, we're in Palo Alto. We have two locations. One is my workshop, one is my office, which is not half a mile away from each other. Most of my work is within 10 miles. I don't travel outside my area. There's no need. There's so much going on here. So it's all here. And most of the people, it's just, again, we have over 400 plus clients already. They will go back and forth. and their friends. They have friends, and they're also wealthy, and they like quality as well. So that's all we need. When I get to a project, the project's already sold for the most part. I just had to do a little educational moment. And we just landed a project, about 100,000 plus exterior paint job, where I told everybody I am going to be the most expensive painter that you're going to get a bid from if you get in more than one bid. So just know that from the get-go. So when you get my estimate, I will be 30, 40, probably 100% higher than the next guy. That's just how it is. And people just give me the projects to do, because they know who we are. And I asked him, just out of curiosity, why did you pick me? Because I know, I've seen some of the estimating from other companies, and I know who they are, and I know their numbers are going to be ridiculously, because they don't. I mean, it's sad, when I go through a project and I see other people, having people washing homes, spraying chemicals with zero gear, zero protection. It drives me crazy. I feel like calling the cops on these companies, because they don't care for the employee. They don't. They use a regular t-shirt, spraying all these cleaners where they should be fully protected. So that's the difference, I mean, that you get well-trained, well-protected, qualified employees when they hire us. But for the most part, my last client that we just landed this project, that was about a week ago. I asked her, why they motivate you to use me? Because I know I'm not the cheapest one. She goes, well, because you're the business owner and you're here. Other people don't have their business owners come and talk to me, So I mean, like, it makes it hard to hire an estimator when I have so many relationships. But I am training my one of my office people who is a branch between me and the office now, to be more into the field. So they introduce that phase slowly to the clients, so she can be more, because I want to take time off. I want to go away. I want to take a month off. My dream is to not to be in the office for 1 month and come back to a running business. No, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm doing now is just slowly introducing it to our clients via email and other avenues, and get involved more and more and more, and then teach her how to estimate, because it's hard to just bring someone from the outside world and knowing your brand, knowing your techniques and that kind of stuff, and throw an estimator and on that direction. It's hard. You have to grow it.
I see a lot of these, so a lot of the mid-tier painting companies,
Yeah,
right? They have salesmen, and the salesmen have scripts, and they go out, and their average job size is like $7,000, and they're doing millions and millions a year in sales, right?
Yeah.
And I get that, because that's a different market. In my market and in your market, I'm sorry, but it's my skill, my knowledge, my passion that sells these jobs.
Right.
And exactly. In order to have a sale, I've always said sales will be the last thing I give up.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be the hardest thing to train somebody on.
Exactly.
Because, how do you communicate? I had a client, we had a big client meeting today. I sold a huge job. And because I know my stuff, and I communicate well to the client why, and help them understand. And at the end of the day, how do I teach somebody, a salesperson, that?
Yeah.
Because like you said, I don't sell. I just give solutions to problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like I diagnose your thing and I go, here's what I would do.
Exactly. Educate them that way. Let them make the call.
The ultra high end market. Because I don't like to call what we do even the high end market.
Right. It sounds cheesy. Everybody uses it. It's overrated.
I think what we're doing is the ultra high end market.
Yeah.
And in that market, I think that the sales is going to be the hardest thing to replace.
Yes. Absolutely. It's the toughest one for me to go to. But it starts with baby steps, right? Again, it takes, I think for me, it's growing someone within the company and let them understand the basis, the foundation of the company, the process of how we do things, and let them shadow you, it's going to be a process. People think, I'm not going to waste money on paying someone who's not doing nothing. It's a long-term investment. You have to think about it that way, It's and hire smarter people than you. And that was, I'm a big believer of that. A lot of people here in the office, I mean, they have my in-person, she's from Scotland, and she was born in the US. And she's probably listening. um, but she's a smart person, and she's well trained, well educated. And I was when I hired her, I said, "Why would I hire you? You're way overqualified for this." And she goes, "I just like this. I like the industry, and I like the culture, and I like what you do. Like up to today, so digestion is this is for real, and she's a real deal. She likes what she does, and she's very very smart. So ton of education back there, and then same thing with the other people I have here. Some of them are I have a young team that I like, especially in the office. Two are still going to the university. They're still in school, and so we work with them with their schedule. But I want to motivate people. I wanna be a mentor for people. So I want the next me to be within this group, so that I can say that I accomplished something. I help somebody on that aspect in life. So, but yeah, I think when it comes down to estimating, that's something that's the hardest thing to delegate. You can delegate an exterior paint job to most guys. As long as you keep a close eye, you check them on a daily basis, right? Give them a target and do's and don'ts. By estimating, it makes you or break you. Someone goes out there and estimates a house for, let's say, $10,000, and you come out to $15,000. So you just lost money right there. And cutting corners is not something that I will do it, and I'm sure you won't do it either. No, so it's just if it costs money, it costs money too, but it's got to be done right. Yeah, so
It's amazing. How about I got to find out about this health insurance thing, because
yeah.
it's one of the biggest goals is to get health insurance for our team, and to be profitable enough where we can afford to do that. How did health insurance first start for you guys?
How did that start? First of all, honestly, a lot of things I've done for my company, it's a step in faith. And it's insane, because to me, it's like I was able to get health insurance through my business because I made a little more than the rest of the guys. And then I start seeing, done it for 20 years. After you got, I would say, 15 years in the industry as a business owner, and you start developing relationships with your coworkers, and then you don't see them as a tool for the company anymore. You see them as a family member. And then knowing that they don't have health insurance and their kids don't have health insurance, so it breaks you, man. So like, you know what, I just have to make it happen. So we got health insurance, increased our pricing, and we're explaining our clients, we're gonna increase pricing by in very little, percentage, because we decided to provide health insurance for our guys, and the response is amazing. People wants that, honestly, and I never lost a client because of that. If anything, gave me more clients because it shows that you're a responsible human being, not just a greedy business owner, So, and on and on and on, we just gave our guys an extra week vacation just because they're working too hard, and as soon as we clear that hurdle, I seen all these applications to go on vacation. Like, wonderful, go on vacation, enjoy your family. Healthier employee is not just physical, it's mental, right? So you have to have it's a good balance in life. So it's a good thing. Don't give away the cow, but if you can, do it. I encourage everyone, just provide health insurance for your employees, increase your pricing, educate your client base, and it works out. It really does.
How many years in business were you before you added the health insurance? You said 15?
About 15, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been providing health insurance, probably a little more, probably up to 12, give or take. We started with, just, and we have two plans. One is Kaiser and one is the PPO. And most of the guys want to go Kaiser because they feel comfortable going on Kaiser. Yeah, and we don't pay 100%, we pay 80%, and they pay 20% which is really nothing. And then it takes before taxes, so really they don't see it. But it's important that they see how much they're paying, because if you give everything for free, they don't see the value, So that's one tip that I got from my business coach. Say, don't pay 100% of your health insurance. Let them pay, even if it's 10, 15, 20%, so they can see if I'm paying, they're going to see if I'm paying, if I'm paying whatever, $80, this guy is paying, 3 times more than that or whatever, right? So it's important that they see the value.
Yeah. And then you have a 401k match as well?
exactly. We do. Yep, and that goes for every employee. After 3 months, they qualify for full benefits, including the 401k.
That is the top one of the top things on my list. We're gonna do it. I can't
Dude,
wait. To do it.
do it. Uh,
Yeah,
do it and then and invest it. I mean, maximize that sucker. Yeah,
yeah.
you'll be amazed how quickly that just adds up. Very, very quickly.
'Cause I feel the same way. Like I'm building a team that's like family,
Yeah,
and, and I want them to be here for a long time, and I want them to make a real living.
yeah,
I don't want to be sitting up in my mansion looking down at all my people who work so hard, and they're not like, no, that's not
yeah.
the stuff I want. Yeah,
No, no, no. I mean, I understand. We take all the risks. We got to make a little more than the other guys. We work. Our brain never turns off. That's a fact. Most of the guys, go home and they forget about the daily routine. But so yeah. I mean, I'm not nothing against being compensated for taking the risk and working extra hard. And I mean, I work 6 days minimum. I mean, this past weekend I worked all weekend, and I don't see myself taking a weekend off anytime soon, just because I don't know how everybody's over there, but it's crazy right now, crazy, crazy. Never seen it this busy ever before.
yep.
It's extremely insane. We're booking work for the first quarter of 2022.
So
Uh,
that's my next question for you.
so
Schedule.
okay.
So, how do you manage schedule? What does that look like?
How does the manage schedule? We try not to overbook stuff, obviously. It's really easy to say yes, 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 and get yourself into a lot of trouble. So learn to say no, or learn to it. Most people will wait for you. If you're good, people will wait. They'll make it happen. Most people say, "No, I need it done." When people call the painter, they think in painting within 30 days. That's most people want their homes service within 30 days. We can't touch anything for a long time now. I'm like easy with for my ongoing clients, 3 months out. We have some gaps here and there because of the unusual things that happens, right? So we don't want to book the entire year, this week, none of that stuff. We want to have a little gap here and there for the mistakes and the redos and all the stuff. They do happen. But we try to have spaces. Like we book for the first 30 days solid. There's no gaps there at all. For the months after that, some big projects, that are there, but there are some gaps that you can make things happen. So that's just how it is for us. Really important for, I don't know how you guys do it, man. California, we're blessed. We have beautiful weather almost year round. Sometimes like this year, we never stop painting outside, you know? And when I went to Woodstock for fine paints, I mean, what does people do? How do you paint? And then the moisture gets into the surface. You gotta let that dissipate. All this stuff. Like, how do these guys do it over here? That's crazy. I'm after now. I need to ask you guys, how the hell you guys do it? What do you guys do from the winter? Sell the potato chips. I mean, how do the guys survive on the winter days over there?
We're 90% interior at this point.
It's crazy.
It's because that's where our clients are seeing the most value in our service.
Okay.
Clean cut, people that you trust in your house. They also, at this point, what I see in the market is people who are willing to spend more money on the interiors
Yeah.
for quality than the outside for quality, which
But
to me doesn't make a ton of sense.
no, bro. I mean, I tell people, look, the exterior, it's more structural. The interior is cosmetical. Unless you have a bathroom, there's moldy or whatever. Everything else is just dirt, on the walls, right? The exterior, like the paint is like the skin on your body. You got to keep it solid. If you let moisture go in there, then termites, dry rot will follow, and then you're spending a ton of money combating these termites and replacing dry rot. So it's exteriors. It's I'm always making emphasis on that with people. Educate them why your exterior is more important. That's where the maintenance programs come into place for us. I would say about 80% of people wants to sign up for a maintenance program after we paint the exterior of their home. One thing I do is we paint a home. I give a free visit at the first year to evaluate how our work is doing. So you look that up, spend 8 hours doing touch-up work, but you're gonna see something. Even if it's not, make it a point that you're gonna do some touch-up work. People see value in that, and then sign them up for a maintenance contract.
I love it. What does your maintenance contract look like?
Maintenance contract is we have depends on the size of the house because we have homes here that have 30,000 square foot homes, and then homes that are like 1,200 square foot homes, right? Depends on how long it's gonna take you to clean it. That's a firm price that I can give. It'll take me 3 guys, 3 days, $95 an hour plus material. Using materials, I have a solid rate of 20% for everything I do with material. That I came with the conclusion that's a magic formula for me. So if someone's gonna paint a room, it's gonna take 2 days, 2 guys, the number of labor plus 20% of materials, and it covers everything. So, for the maintenance is we have a contract obviously where it states we're gonna clean all the exteriors of your home, including your roof areas, your gutters, and your downspouts. We're gonna inspect the whole house. We're gonna wash it. We're gonna remove every mold. We're gonna do it very gently. I'm gonna have a professional window cleaner at the end come and clean the entire house. That's a set price. I know how long it's gonna take me to do that times hourly rate number. What is not included is any touch-up work. That's gonna be time and material, and that can be from here to here, right? So,
Dude, that's absolutely brilliant.
it works, man. And another thing we're doing is we're scheduling right now for the rainy season, right? You don't wait for freaking December and then next month's gonna rain. Shoot, people goes home. Nobody goes home here. We close our business for the holidays, 2 weeks solid, religiously, every year. Everybody goes home. I don't care if you want or not. And I don't want to hear you doing site work or even painting your damn house. I want you not to think about painting. If you do any of that, you lose your privilege. You lose your benefits. You don't get paid. So guys go home for two weeks. But for January, February, and March, which is this rainy day months here, we start booking early on, even now. This year's a little earlier because of the amount of work and people are planning ahead. But when the work starts piling up right around late summer on the fall, and you see projects where you have the possibility you say you have all this work, everybody calls at the same time for interiors or exteriors. I don't know why everybody talk to each other out there in the world and say, let's all get our exterior painted, right? So at the same time. So if you see the flexibility with some people who are not in a big urgent need, just tell them, hey, we're very busy right now, but if you are flexible, we can schedule you for the winter months right after the holidays. We give you a maze, what 5 or 10% will do for someone. Sometimes you don't even have to give a discount, but if you offer a little discount, a little initiative, let's no problem, let's do it on those days. So book it early on. That way you have constant work. You're never sending anybody home, because the hardest thing is if you don't have work and then you send your guys, and they have to pay bills. Somehow a lot of us have savings accounts and whatnot, but not everybody is that way. So if you keep them busy, because it's hard to find people, we know that. So keep them busy, out of trouble.
Dude, this is amazing. BNI, are you still a BNI member?
I am not. I had to walk away from it.
Thank you.
Reason being,
shocked.
I'm sorry?
I was going to be shocked if you were still a BNI member.
Dude.
In the nice BNI group in the history of BNI.
I thought it was good because solidifies some that I mean, there was really not much for me to gain in there anymore. I was mainly mentoring new businesses because a lot of them are new businesses, and I'm okay with that, mentoring a new business owner and guiding through situations and whatnot. But it gets old after a while. You're just tired of people leeching up on you, and you sending. I was the biggest provider, and that was what did it for me is. People started to say, well, you're too expensive. I will refer guys, but he's too expensive. Like, are you kidding me? That to me is like, I'm not going to hang around with people who thinks that way. That's not who I want to be surrounded with, especially because I'm sending all this work to all of you guys. And this is the comments I hear, he's too expensive. Yeah, we're very damn good as well. We're the best there is to be around here.
BNI helped me. It sounded like it helped you. It got me to another level.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I quickly outgrew it. And I wasn't getting any work from it, and I was giving work to it.
Yeah, it's time. It served its purpose, and I did what I had to do. And it's a great chapter. It's a great program for a new business owner, I think. So if you really want to get a business started and generate,
if you're in the mid-tier market, I think you could put salespeople there and employees there.
Yeah,
and always do well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that definitely can be. If I ever see a need, they will need to. attract more foot traffic, we can always send someone from the office and sign them up on different chapters and do that way. But as of right now, I don't think it's a good fit for us just because of the type of leads that are coming out of those chapters. Like, the landing rate is, I mean, yeah, if it doesn't pay off, doesn't pay off. You just
Yeah.
do your numbers, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about these Italians.
All right, what do you got?
So you were like, well, you just get a lot of people asking about the Italian plasters. You were like, we got to do this.
Yeah, so we work with a lot of, everybody's here in Silicon Valley. You got eBay, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, SAP, I mean, it's here. This is it. Tesla, you name it. Everybody's here, right? So all these guys and their families and all the CEOs, CFOs, I mean, people from this is a global market here. This is like the most diverse part of the whole US. So these people travel and they've seen things, on different parts of the world. And I was getting all these requests for different products, like the Venetian plasters, Marmolinos, the Paladinos, and the Oxidas, and the Three Dimensions, the Saharas, and yada yada. It's like, what's all this about? And I tried it by myself with some of the most talented guys we had, but it wasn't. I'm like, no, I don't think this is it, So so I connected with this Italian person who it's an amazing artist, and he's the one who's heading that division of the company, and he's doing an amazing job. I mean, we're booked. I'm telling you. Look, give me a second. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can show you just one product that I love. I mean, there's a lot of them. And then I employ. Sorry. This is here. I surround myself with really smart people. This is one of my employees. He drew that person right here. Free advertisement for Avellino. I mean, these guys are artists.
Yep.
They can. And then my favorite, Jimmy. It's amazing, right? So one of the companies that we use the most, it's Rivendell.
Yep.
Rivendell's a good one. Also, Mcdermaid. Mcdermaid's also a really good company. So we just had a lot of demand for the product, and we say, we're just gonna do it. Where's my stand go? It's right here. So we just decided to pull the trigger, and we spent. It didn't happen overnight like everything else. We did almost 2 years of R&D, research and development of the market. What our clients want. A lot of the products that we're doing now, there are companies from out of town from Ireland, from Italy, they come here and they do this work, a one-time job, and they bailed out. And who's going to repair it? Or who's going to do the next job? Yada, yada. So you know what? And then the pricing they were charging, it was ridiculous too. Like, we can make money here. So we connected with companies. They bring products right out of Italy and have Eduardo manage that division. After we came out with a portfolio of products that are the most demanding ones that people want to see in their homes, and it's taking off big time. So that's another department they would offer to our clients.
You bring the Italian guys from Italy?
Yeah, but this guy here, he came by himself. He came here to do some artwork at different areas. So it says happens that I met him doing one of those projects, and I talked to him. I met him about 7 years ago, give or take. And how cool would it be having this team working for my company, right? It was one of those days, you having a nice glass of wine and seeing these guys doing amazing jobs. And then it happens to be that he wanted to come and work for me. And I say, at first I'm like, wow, this is an opportunity. It's a scary opportunity because, it's a brand new market for me. I say, the market is there. I've been turning down projects like this because I didn't have the manpower, the capabilities, the product, the know-how. So we just did it. We did it. It's been 2 years, a little bit over 2 years. I'm thinking I spent already $250,000 on R&D on just this market, and finally it's paying off. So it's there.
So
it
you
is.
over.
I'm sorry.
and he brought his buddies, and they just moved to America.
Well, they moved here from the for different reasons. One of them, they came here for the a restaurant industry. I think Eduardo came here from to do multiple projects. Has an art degree from he's from Sicily, and so he came here to do this, but he ended up working at a restaurant because his job's finished, so he ended up getting a job at a restaurant. So that restaurant, he was co-owner of the restaurant, and that restaurant closed up. So he came and hit me up. So now he runs this department. Oh, Vitalin's already here, I keep on talking to him. We need to grow your side, and we need to investigate if we can bring more people right out of Italy. So right now we're in those talks right now, and it's a little bit harder than what it seems because it's a special visa, and you have to offer that job in the whole U.S. Nobody shows up with those talents, then you can apply for that visa. So but there are some loopholes that hopefully we can import a few more talent. I mean, just having the right person like him, having all the knowledge, we already have. I mean, most of the job, the work for these plasters involves protecting, right? Which a good painter will do. Involves priming, involves first applications of the plasters, which my tapers can do. You know what I'm saying? So just the last final touches, the last coat is where he comes in with another team of 2 or 3 guys that are very skilled, and then just finish up the project. So a division of 3 finishers, 3 applicators, can take at least another 7 people under them, like a 10-man division, just having 3 qualified applicators. So it's all here,
Dude.
It works
Yeah,
that way.
man. I got to come out to San Francisco. I want to come. I want to see what you're doing, man.
Hey, come on down, man. I'm telling you, anyone who wants to come down and open doors, man. It's beautiful here, and it's a lot to see. It's people come from other places thinking, oh, I want to see the $1 million homes. Every home here is $1 million or more, right? So it's not as fancy people would think it is when it comes down to the outdoors, but it's beautiful. It's a lot of trees, and then it's the food is amazing, the people's amazing. So and then the weather is the best. That's for sure. And then the beach is next door, right? I can ski one day, and then the same day go to the beach and surf if I wanted to. So it's a good spot. The Bay Area is the best, man. I really enjoy it here.
Dude, all right. This has been amazing. I
Same
don't
here.
want to have too much more of your time. I have 3 questions that I ask everybody at the end of every episode.
What you got?
Two are really easy. One of them is terrifying, but we'll get there at the very end. So I need to know a DIY painting tip. I know you haven't been in the field for a while. This question started a long time ago, but a DIY painting tip. What do you got for me?
DIY. Can you explain to me what DIY is?
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself.
Like a homeowner who's watching right now, what's a tip that we can give them on painting?
I can tell them what not to do. One thing I hate to see is the 1, 2, 3 primer in people's homes or contractors' trucks. Get rid of that sucker. 1, 2, 3 primers are no good. Use the right primer for the right surface. If I had to tell the homeowners, use the right primer for the right job. It's the most important thing. I mean, I can go on and on, but that's if I had to say somebody like
use good primer.
Tremendous. Yeah, use good primers. Protect the crap out of everything and use a good primer. That's it.
All right. What is your favorite piece of painting paraphernalia? Tool, piece of equipment, you name it.
Oh man.
You can also, as we guys like you, we do this. You can give me 2 answers. Okay. 1 for actual painting and 1 for running a business.
My favorite or my least favorite?
Most favorite, your favorite tool or piece of equipment in painting?
I will say, without a doubt, the 5-in-1.
Love it.
Without a doubt, 5-in-1, baby. That's it for me. You know what I'm saying? They take that sucker even to a barbecue. I'll pop some beers and whatever, right? So that's it. It's got a hammer. everything is there. If I had to, like I was golfing and we had to pick one club to play the entire course, I pick my number 7. You know, if I had to pick one tool, I will pick the 5-in-1. Obviously, you need a brush, but I don't know why. I'm fascinated with the 5-in-1. It's just like a cool tool. I don't know why. It's
Beautiful.
what it is. And I told my guys, everybody has to have a 5-in-1. If I find somebody with without a 5-in-1 in one of my jobs, you're gonna get written off because you gotta have it. You need it.
And what about for running the business, tool or equipment?
Running the business, I think you have to acknowledge that mistakes will be made, and you have to learn from them and move on quickly. Don't drag them on too long with you. Just don't take it personal. Stuff will happen, and just do your damage control as fast as you can. Talk to the people you got to talk to. Be patient. Your employees will make mistakes, like you did. Don't torture them more than what you have to. Just enough to send a message that we can do better, and off we go. Don't dwell.
All right, now I got the best one. So you have clearly demonstrated you are an expert. You are an absolute god in the painting industry.
No, I'm not.
Be like you. So now I need to bring you back down to earth, and I need you to tell me the most embarrassing horror story, biggest mistake you guys ever made on a $30 million house. You spilled paint down the drain. I don't know. What's the thing that keeps you up at night?
Keeps me up at night. One word. Well, 2 words. Spontaneous combustion. Those are 2 words that will keep me up at night. Even though with experienced painters, humans are humans. They will make a mistake. So we just had a job right down the street from here where the foreman had to take the day off, and his 2 assistants who were with us for at least 4 years, we decided to live and paint in a handrail with an oil-based paint. And they also stripped down some beams with some Jasco. They did not put the rags into a metal bucket with water to put them in a regular garbage bag. Put them in there. Our shop is never inside of a house, luckily. We had a shop outside the house on a 10x10, brand new. That sucker came on fire at 2 a.m. Homeowner called me. My shack is on fire. I get there, there's a 35 freaking units of different government at 2 a.m. Here I am passing my business card. This is my company. We made a mistake. Own it right away.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep me up at night. Spontaneous combustion. Put all your oil-based stuff in a bucket with water and recycle it, obviously. But yeah, that's what keeps me up at night. And it happens. It will happen to anyone. So it's a real deal.
It's not to be messed with. I've had it happen. You said you'd never keep your shop inside of a house.
Never. That's big liability.
How do you make that happen?
We allocate an area where we can put a portable 10x10, put some plywood. You can put a little bit of like shelving, so you can, like a supermarket, you can see all your stuff. Put it all in there, nice and clean. Have a fire extinguisher on hand, obviously. But yeah, never inside a house.
Dude, you're my freaking hero. Okay, so first of all, I mean, you have awesome weather.
Yeah.
But you are dedicating a space on every project.
Yeah.
Outside of the home as the shop.
Yeah. And we have a washing station next to that as well. The water just goes on a 5-gallon bucket. We take it to our shop. We strain it, recycle that. So we don't clean our brushes on the bushes. That's a no-no. Oh. You get fire on the spot here. Don't do that.
Yep. That is such a good idea. So you use a heavy duty tent.
Yeah. Yeah, a 10x10.
Ground.
Yeah, we put like sandbags on the legs.
Okay.
Tie them down. Have walls. Zip them. It's all there. Don't leave any equipment, but you can leave all your stuff in there.
What about in the winter? Because you don't have cold temperatures, huh?
Not really. No. Sorry, guys. I don't feel sorry for you guys, but no. Over here is 75. If it goes to 90, we're dying. If it goes to 30, we're dead. So it's the weather is amazing.
I absolutely love that idea. You guys use all work vans, no trailers?
No trailers. No trailers. It's all work vans. Every foreman has one thing. What I love about what we've done with this system is all the vans are exactly the same. Exactly the same. They all have their first aid kit where they should be. The fire extinguishers where should be. All the primers. We have a box full of stains. We have all the basics, right? Everything that we can think of, they'll have at least a cord of each one of those. So it's easier for a different team member that joins that group, knows exactly where things are. Obviously, all our fest tools are there. Course, everything you can think of. It's like a little mini store. So it's production once you get there. You have your list. You check it at least once a month. A little checklist of, have sandpaper, they have primer, they have this, they have that. And if you need anything, just get an app. We'll use an app called Crew app, where the guys can request on forms what they need, and it goes to specific jobs. I mean, everything has a PO, right? You got to have POs. I don't know. I mean, we're going in a different direction now. But yeah, every van is the same. It's little workshop, and as presentable as it can be. I don't like to see paint on people's bumpers. I hate that as a painter. The company car has to be perfect.
Yes.
Clean as it can be, man.
Dude, you're my freaking hero, man. And if I can do half of what you've done, I will be a success.
One at a time. Pick one fight at a time. See what's important to you, right? And just patience, man. And have systems, Like right now with COVID, we have to, in California, every morning, the foreman shows up at the job site, and then the crew members show up, and they ask all these stupid questions. How you feeling today? Oh, are you coughing? No. Are you have a fever? No. Let me measure it for you. Boom, boom. Oh, yeah, you're 96.2, whatever. And then it takes a picture of that, goes to an app, and goes to the office, files away. Nothing happened on this job here today. It's just all these things that you got to do. COVID landed a shitload of more of issues, as we know it. But here in California, it's crazy. I mean, we were crazy, but now we're crazier. There's automatic sanitations everywhere where you go. We have signs where you put your hand in as you walk by, right? And on and on and on.
Client meeting today, maskless. It was amazing.
Right? I did one yesterday.
Room was vaccinated. So the GC, the superintendent, the designer. No, the designer wore a mask. She must not have been. And the client and myself, we all didn't wear a mask.
Inside or outside?
Inside.
Oh, that's not happening here.
It was a freeing experience.
Wow.
I don't know if it was legal. I mean, we've all been vaccinated second shots for more than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Same here. I mean, most people are vaccinated. I think California has the biggest rate on vaccination, but people are still very cautious on that. And I think within right, I think for interior painting, I think we're going to keep that policy going with our guys, use their surgical for a while, and definitely on the winter months when people get the flu and all those things. So as a respect for the next guy, and that's why we get full benefits to our guys. If you don't feel good, you just got to stay home. You got to stay home. You're going to bring that crap and half of the team is going to be gone, right? So you got to stay home. You get your benefits, use them for that reason. If I seen someone sick.
Put up masks yet?
Sorry?
Did you get logoed up masks yet?
No, I really didn't want to go that extent. Oh, dude, that's nice. That's beautiful.
It took me a while, man.
Yeah?
I didn't think they were going to be here for this long.
Dude, you got to send me one. I'll promote it for you.
Dude, my T-shirt person, she right off the rip was like, let me get you hand sanitizer and lettered up masks. And I was like, nah, this isn't going to be here for very long.
Yeah, no, dude.
It's here.
It's here. But it looks like we're looking good. So hopefully, knock on wood, by the end of the year, should be pretty free on that aspect. Yeah. But I really enjoy this topic. If I can be of any help for anyone, I'd love to.
Do you manage your Instagram? Are you the guy that answers the questions?
Many people. I have one person that does that. Yeah.
Okay.
I put a lot of stuff out there myself, but it's a team effort. We're really a team here. It's that vibe that I love about my team. That they don't feel like I'm an employee. They feel like owners, and I love it. So it's
Dude, Gus, you just became a legend to everyone.
No, brother.
You've already been a legend in my world. I've just heard of you from John.
Yeah.
So this has been a great honor. I really appreciate you spending the time.
No, it's a pleasure, and I really mean it. So best of luck to you guys and all you painters out there, and I think our community needs to start losing the animosity against each other. You go to the paint store. That's why I don't wear no logos. This is me. I mean, every time I have no logos. I wear a regular T-shirt. My car has no logos, zero. I don't want that because I want to go to a paint store. I want to talk to guys. If you have any logo, you're an enemy, and that needs to stop. It really has to stop. I'm always giving tips to guys who have no license, no insurance, and that. I mean, we'll start somewhere. But if we collaborate more and more, I think we're missing out and referring each other's business. There's some prices I don't do. I want to pass them on to somebody, but I want to make sure I have some kind of trust and know that one person. Go for it. Use this guy and tell your client this guy may not license, but you make the call, right? If that's the case. And there's a lot of stuff that other people don't do that I do. Send it my way, and I'll be happy to send you work. It's a two-way street, right? So, but our industry is it's an angry industry, man. Everybody's grumpy. They think that we're all enemies. We need to change that. We need to help each other out. That's my message for all the team out there.
Hey,
all right,
thank
man.
you so much, Gus.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Awesome. We'll talk soon.
Later, brother. Bye.
All right. Bye. Wow, that was amazing. What he's doing in revenue. I didn't ask him this. I asked him it earlier, and let's just say he's doing quite a lot of revenue for 38 painters, and it's because the guy's got his stuff together. It's very obvious. I am so inspired by listening to that guy. What they're doing, like I'm gonna book a flight to San Francisco tomorrow. Holy crap! But I hope that everyone took from this just the level of professionalism that is possible in painting when you, like he said, have integrity, do great work, and all those things he said about no paint on the bumper, like clean cut everything, no shop inside of the house. Oh man, we're gonna work to that. But man, I love all thinking like that. How do I make this a better experience for my client? Like all the time, how do I push the level of quality and customer service? And oh man, Gus is doing it, and those guys are doing it big time. So thanks everybody for listening. We have a Patreon private Q&A that I do on Sunday nights. If you guys aren't, we have about 40 members every Sunday night at 9:30 at night. I go live and I answer all questions. I talk in depth, very behind the scenes, not what you see here, just my frustrations for the week, the things that I don't put out here publicly to my clients because they don't need to hear my frustrations. I'm here to make their lives easy. But if you're interested and you want to hear the behind the scenes and ask a bunch of questions and nerd out with a group of awesome people, we have a Patreon. There's a link in the bio. You can go to it, join it. It's only $15 a month. And we're building a nice little community there. Next Tuesday, we have another great guest, opposite side of the spectrum. He's a one-man operation, super talented artist guy, traveling the country, doing crazy mural. I don't even know what you call what he's doing, but he's using paint.